Hello and welcome to the Hebden Bridge Folk Roots Festival podcasts. And today in the studio we have the wonderful Jess Morgan. Tell us a little bit about, what you've been up to since we last saw you at Hebden Bridge Folk Roots Festival.
Well, Hebden Bridge was in May last year, wasn't it? And so I'd already been to Norway and I'd done most of the tracking for my album. I think through the rest of the year and was kind of adding some of the sort of UK parts of the story to that kind of, so I was, working with some different people and kind of putting the album together over the summer really, over those months, as well as playing some small festivals and things like that. And then the mixes for the record were coming together as I was going out on my autumn tour. And then, we released the thing in October. And then I went out and toured with the band and we sort of played those songs to a live audience for the first time. So it all really bloomed during 2016, really. And, I think that's what I'm doing now. I'm still trying to get out and play those new songs to new people and things. So that's what I've been up to.
Yeah, and has the audience reacted? Have you had a good response?
Yeah, it has been quite good, actually. I think for me it's always nice to have something fresh to play. And I think when you're excited about something, it shows, without you having to do too much. And I think that's what people want to see when they go to a gig, they want to know that you're into what you're doing as well.
Absolutely. So how do you start your songwriting process? Do you have a certain way of writing a song? How does inspiration come to you?
All sorts of different ways, really. There's never any kind of set way. Sometimes I'll have something I want to write about, and that will be stuck in my mind. Other times, I've got to push myself a bit harder, to reach for something that's carries a bit more weight or is worth writing about, kind of thing. But then finding a way to write about it that is, for me, it's always important to be relatable in songs and to not I don't really like to be particularly prescriptive. I kind of admire people that can make an impact with a song because they don't hold back, but at the same time I don't think I'm very good at pulling that off. So I kind of tried to find a more subtle way of carrying a message that's important to me and hopefully will be important to other people. But anyway, I'm going off track. But,
no, it's good. Do you kind of write things down as you're going along or do you record on your iPhone or that kind of thing?
A bit of both actually.
Yeah.
I'm an absolute slave to phone demos now. Yeah. I have made a move away from Apple this year, which was really risky because I thought, what am I going to do if I get a phone which has got a rubbish internal kind of
voice
microphone, audio recording kind of thing? And I even went as far as tweeting the manufacturer of the phone I was interested in to say, look, I can't find a demo of your audio recording and it's really important to me, and they never got back to me. So I just took a gamble, but this machine I'm using now is actually pretty good. So yeah, I use the demos a lot. There's nothing worse than forgetting a melody or feeling like you've got something, and then it always is like the minute you've got to go out when you'll just kind of crack the melody or something like that, or just the last 5 minutes before you've decided I have to go to bed, or those times when you're under that kind of pressure. It's kind of magical like that, and it's a great luxury to be able to just record them very, very easily and back them up as well.
I was about to say, I just had an experience where I lost a load of my songs on Apple because I couldn't get back into my phone, so they disabled it permanently, and the only way I could get my phone back was if they set it to factory settings. And the last time I'd backed up that particular phone, because I've got two phones, was probably about 6 months previous. So it was quite so definitely it was a lesson learned, back up your phone, you're writing songs. I know, it's everyone's nightmare, but I actually gained photos and I gained more things back up your phone. So what's happening this year for you? You've just told me that you're going to Germany next.
In the last few weeks, I've booked myself silly for the year, so I'm going to be out and about playing an awful lot. I'm a little bit scared about, but I'm also really excited about. It's kind of, I think it's probably had to do with, it's been a slow start to the year. I tend not to book too much through January, February, because I kind of worry about the weather a little bit. And so things are only really just kicking off for me now. And I don't know, it's been a long period sitting at home, and I kind of felt a bit like, I think that's made me book my year like jam-packed full of gigs, which I'm sure we'll get to August and I'll regret it, but, lots of things, lots of things to do is never a bad thing. Mix of gigs and festivals, here and away, and, bit of touring, bit of adventuring.
Are you releasing any singles this year?
We're still pushing the album.
Yeah.
The album's called Everson Gloriette, and it's all over the place. I can't think of anywhere where you can't get it. Buy it from source, and with, in kind of the most wholesome way possible, is to buy it direct from me. Because you can get it from my website. I send everything out personally, usually with, I've usually got something lying about, some print or something, some printer, a postcard or a badge, so I try and chuck something else in as well. And, I like to make that personal contact with people, and if somebody's listening and thinks, well, I like to make that personal contact with the artist, then, you can buy it as a CD, and it comes with all the lyrics and everything, and in a posh case. You can also get it, first time for me, as a 12-inch LP. And it's on Oxblood coloured vinyl as well, so it's exciting.
How did you feel when you first got that? I bet it was so exciting to play it.
It was a bit. I mean, I'm not a big one for listening to my own records, so it was kind of like, it was with some trepidation that I put it on the stereo. I felt a bit like, oh my God, I'm listening to my own record. What if somebody comes round and knocks on the door and it's like everybody I know? That kind of feeling. But it's...
That's what impresses me about you. You do a lot of things yourself. And I think that you learn a lot when you do things yourself. You learn the process of music. You learn about music business and how you kind of do things and how everything affects everything else. And I think that's invaluable, the experience you get, even though you do go through those kind of things as well.
I agree. And also it kind of really makes you appreciate it when you hand something over to somebody else. For example, on this new album, I didn't have a hand in the mixing at all. Whereas previously, I think I've always commented on the mixing because I felt that I ought to. But this time I just thought, you know what, I don't know about mixing. Other people do know better than me. I've written the songs, I've got an idea of, I'd be able to say if I really, really didn't like something. But if I hear this track and I think it sounds all right, then I think that's as far as I'm going to go with comments. It felt really good just to lean into somebody else's someone else's expertise. It feels good. You know what it's like to do everything yourself, but it feels good to just hand something over and just say, you do that better than me.
Oh yeah, you can fly then. I think when you have a team of people, the weight off your shoulders is lifted, and you can actually get on with what you're meant to be getting on with. And I think that's when you kind of, it's an initiation process. I think when you're first starting out and you're doing everything yourself, you're learning every role and you're learning how it all works. So when you do pass things over, you have an insight, a little insight into that role. When someone else takes it on, who does it for a living or whatever they do, then you have that understanding and then you can get on with your job, because really 100% needs to be going into writing songs and performing and kind of getting that together. But that's a luxury for a lot of artists to have that. So I think it's all part of the process. But it's really good that you tour a lot. So what can we expect from you this Hebden Folk Roots 2017?
I'm coming up with a couple of other musicians. We're going to play as a 3-piece band, which should be really fun. I'm bringing Bradley Blackwell. He's going to be playing double bass, which kind of really adds a lot to the sound. I really like gigging with Brad. We played a lot together last year. We played a week's worth of gigs in Scotland, got in all kinds of trouble up there. And I'm also bringing Jay Chakravorty. He's based down in London, and he kind of plays a mix of kind of keys with some organ sounds and electric guitar. And Jay's kind of really his kind of thing is that he's really bringing the album sound to the live sound kind of thing. It's when I made the record in Norway, there's a lot of kind of electric guitar and pedal steel on it and stuff. I mean, I say a lot. I mean, it's present a lot, but it's not overpowering. I don't think it's kind of, but it's certainly colours that I don't pull from an acoustic guitar. And Jay kind of There's just kind of arranged parts that make what we do on stage a bit more reminiscent of the record, and that was something I'd never ever been able to do before. So it was certainly, gigging that way last year was really exciting, and it's great to be able to bring a bit to Hebden Bridge. We're not doing many gigs this year together as a three-piece. I think we'll only be playing together 3 or 4 times, so it'll be nice to do that at Hebden Bridge.
And are you going to bring your albums to sell and things like that? There'll be lots of handmade merchandise that we can get hold of when you're here.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll have the albums, and I'm really hoping that by May time, I'm going to have some nice screen printed posters as well. I've just become a member of a screen printing studio here in Norwich. It's taken me ages to do my inductions and everything like that because I'm always away, but I've finally done the things I need to do to be able to go in and print on my own. And I have some very good friends who are experienced printers, so hopefully I'm going to have some nice things to bring to Hebden Bridge.
Fantastic. Now, for the listeners, can you just tell us what your website is so we can kind of go on there and have a look at you?
Sure. It's jessmorgan.co.uk, so it's jessmorgan.co.uk.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I was going for strong and silent. It's good use for tattoos and holds in the knees. But you come here skipping, laughing your gums show. You're holding down your rhythm, lips and teeth. Is this working on you, Lord? How long were you looking before you landed here? Well, I don't mind saying you lift my spirit, so I couldn't hit your rhythm, but I was getting near. Well, slow it down, lean into me now. When nobody's looking, you can spell it out. We'll touch wood on your table and rock in your chair. You say you want something special, I'd say you're halfway there. I've been putting a brave face on it, so fly me up the flagpole for all I'm worth. And I'm down here adding black teeth and glasses to all the smiling faces in the daily dirge. We'll slow it down, lean into me now. Nobody's looking, you can spell it out. We'll touch wood on your table and rock in your chair. You say you want something special, I'd say you're halfway there.
If you'd like to know more about the Hebden Bridge Folk Roots Festival, please go to www.hebdenfolkroots.org. Thank you for listening.